everyone. We're back with the Purse Chronicles. I'm your host, Julie Lee, here with my other host,
Julie.
It's me again.
Hi, ladies. We're so excited for everything that we've had going on with the Purse Chronicles lately. We've got our great new Instagram.
Yes.
Follow us on Instagram.
Follow us at the Purse Chronicles. We also have our beautiful brand new Facebook page.
Yay.
So everyone has been following us and liking us. We're also now on iTunes, so you can hear us.
That is amazing.
And subscribe so you can don't miss one of our latest episodes. So today, ladies, what are we pulling out of our purses?
How to
Something very, very, I think, valuable to our listeners, right?
Very practical but fun.
Yeah. And so today we're talking about how to dress for success without breaking the bank.
Yes.
And so this topic came up with us talking through some different ideas about how you represent yourself in business, different social events that you might get invited to, certain speaking engagements, certain networking opportunities that we have, and can really put a strain on the budget sometimes with the wardrobe pieces and how to put things together.
Definitely.
Well, and especially with using social media, and I can speak for myself that I post all the events I participate in.
Yes.
And I would like to avoid is having the same outfit 3 days in a row. I might be wearing the same pants, but I don't want it to look like it.
Right. Exactly.
Sure. And even if you're in the office 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, you want to feel your best self.
Exactly.
I think that's what it's about. I got a message on Facebook from a girl that I went to high school with in 1992 saying that your wardrobe has inspired me to step up my game, even though I now live in a sleepy Midwestern town.
Pretty cool.
I want to step it up and feel good.
Yeah.
But how do I do that? Where'd you get those pants?
Right. So, and from my perspective, a lot of things I have to deal with is when I have employees and new employees and coming into the workforce, and sometimes people are just new to this type of office job, so they need to build their wardrobe. And so we always tell them, listen, it's business casual, and then because you can't wear jeans, of course, but get a couple of pair of slacks and find them on sale, and we share all of that, and find you some blouses and dress it up with Julie uses a lot, like a scarf or something differently, or accessorize it differently. And over time, you will get there and it will build. And so we really kind of work with people in terms of their budget and what they can afford.
I think that in the workplace, the term business casual, I think for folks is still confusing. And that you will see them wearing, for example, a cold-shouldered T-shirt.
Yeah, that's a little too casual for work. Yeah.
No, that's not.
But could you wear a cold shoulder blouse that is from Ann Taylor Loft and has some nice embroidery around the collar? Would that be acceptable?
Yeah, and my personnel, the person that does personnel, when she does hire someone after all the interviews, she basically kind of we have this little handbook kind of thing of the do's and don'ts of what to wear. We created that for many years. So we found some don'ts sometimes, and it gets a little embarrassing. I don't want to say that to be ugly to anyone, but it's not really for us, but it's for them as well, because I may have somebody coming in that flew in from DC that I go around and I introduce all of my employees to them, and then they might have felt like they weren't dressed appropriately. So I always feel like you're never overdressed for whatever the occasion is. So we kind of put together this little training and a little do's and don'ts little pamphlet that we give out, and she discusses that. I know we talk a lot about the documents that you need to when you're hired, but we also incorporate some of these other little things like workforce, how to, the environment of the workforce.
Yeah, that's a great resource for people too. And I think
I have that.
One of the things I always found in working every day in I say plain clothes, sorry, that's a law enforcement background thing, but in regular clothes and work clothes, that some of your staples are going to be your staples, your black pants.
Yes.
Your black blazer.
Yes.
And some of the blouses that you don't have to spend a fortune on.
Definitely.
Right. So where do you need to invest, and where can you cut back? I think blouses, you can go to your Forever 21s, and even we have to be conscious that some even your Gap clothes, those could even not be well made, right? So here's what's tricky is part of not breaking the bank is having the clothing pieces last for a long time, right? So there's different elements to dressing for success. I think it's investing in the right piece, like where do I need to spend the money, how do I make the clothes last?
Yes.
So they don't fall apart. And then what are those pieces that I don't need to have them be quote unquote investment pieces?
Yeah, and and another element of that is everyone who works for me has to own a suit. You don't have to own it immediately. But the one thing that I do in trying to expose all employees to different things is if I'm going to a meeting at the city or a meeting at the Capitol, I may pull any employee to go with me so that they're exposed and that they can see the insides of like the behind the scenes or other aspects of what we do. So, you never know once I get to the Capitol if I need to go in a private meeting with a legislator. So that is one thing that you always kind of have a suit in your repertoire so that you can pull.
Yeah, and I think a suit is a good expenditure of funds, especially when you're starting
because
off.
you can mix and match those pieces.
Absolutely, pantsuit and or skirt suit.
Yes.
Because the blouse that usually you wear with it, or the jacket, or the separates, you can separate it out. You can even make that a separate outfit on another day.
Yes.
But what I love about what you said, too, is if you are the employee who V grabs that day and says, hey, tomorrow we're going to Baton Rouge to meet with so-and-so.
Yes.
There's, and I don't know exactly how to explain it, but I know y'all will know what I mean. There's a certain confidence that you portray and feel when you put on something that you look like $1,000,000.
Exactly.
You think better. You present yourself better. You're going to give a firmer handshake. You're going to smile bigger. You're going to exude confidence when you feel great about what you have on.
I also found that individual is going to prepare for the information and be proud. And so it's empowerment. You're elevating that person and giving them a different aspect of what work is instead of just sitting behind a desk.
Sure.
So yes, that confidence comes in different ways. And when they're told, and I have to be honest, I may not always give you, I may give you that one day, but okay, I know. But however, you know that they're going to prepare, and preparing is what's important. And I want to touch a little bit on that. We need to prepare for our days. We need to prepare for the event that we're going to. So if we're going to the Capitol, we know that we need to prepare with the suit or with a nice slacks and a blazer. It doesn't always have to be a suit or a nice wrap, and accessorize it properly. The accessory is probably more plain, and not too gaudy, not too much gold, not a big necklace. If we're then going to like a meeting somewhere else, like with a healthcare organization or something, then you could wear more of your other accessories.
When you're talking about planning, this literally means, and I did this all the time, having your blazer and your nice heels in your car ready, and then you might put on a fleece if it's chilly and drive with your flip-flops on, especially like if you mentioned going to the Capitol, that means that's an hour drive. Sometimes I'm driving, I will leave here from home and drive 4 hours to go straight to see a client. So that means I have my suit jacket and my heels next to me. And then if I know that we're going to be going straight out to dinner after that, then I have jeans in my bag and something else to swap it out.
Exactly.
You really have got to just think through it. And you don't need to own a multitude of shoes, but a really nice tailored pair of pumps. Or if you want some the kitten heels are nice. I think it's about being tailored.
Yes.
Put together, well made.
Yes.
And what fits your body.
And the going out to the nightclub shoes are not always going to translate to the business at the Capitol, to the boardroom.
That's a good clarification.
So, and that's really something that we need to be cognizant of. And that when we are dressing for events, and it's going to be a long day, get a nice pair of flats as well. And it doesn't have to be expensive, but very tasteful, because you know it's going to wear on your body. So don't forget your flats in your bag.
And here's
that's
some
important.
Of some money-saving tips I've used. So I know, for example, that in the brand Coach for shoes, I know that I'm a size 6, and there's no problems ever. So I will go on eBay and search for new without tags, because that's a better price, but they're still new, or sometimes new in box. Coach size 6 pumps.
Oh, that's cute.
And
that's good.
And I know Banana Republic. I know I wear a certain size in their jackets, and they always fit. Now, you can't roll the dice with everything, but with those brands, I have no shame in my game that I absolutely buy clothes.
Because you know
previously
them, and
previously
proven themselves to you.
But previously worn.
Yeah.
Shoes I will not buy previously worn off eBay. But if you want to sell a jacket or a blouse, if it's terrible, then you eat the loss. But I mean, maybe 2% of the time. The rest of the time, I have fabulous wardrobe pieces I've gotten for $18.
Yeah. And I think another thing that's important when you're just starting off, or maybe you're just kind of getting your business wardrobe together, and we throw around the word accessorizing a lot.
Yes.
But nowadays, we're so lucky to live in this time of Charm and Charlie's.
Yes.
And Cato's and Stage, and where there's this great costume jewelry. And it really helps set the tone for your outfit. So you can go with a gorgeous looking, pair of choker pearls that cost you $5
with a simple black blouse.
Right.
And you've elevated your whole look.
Yes. And it makes you look and feel like you spent a lot of money, but you really didn't.
Right. And I have learned quite a bit from my employees, because Walmart, they will get something from Walmart, Steinmart. They will, and it's just having an eye of something that goes with your wardrobe. And I know, I'm not big on paying a whole lot of money for shoes. I have found the shoes that I paid $100 or $200 for hurt my feet just as much as I paid $30 for. So know yourself, know your body. Just because someone else can wear designer shoes and it's comfortable for their feet, that is not a knock at you or me, because if you know me, you'll look at my purse and go, whoa, but then I may have on $20 shoes. I mean, but that's what works for me.
Exactly the same way.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
And you would never know, and who cares?
And I like what Julie brought up too, which is a great point. If you may get called by the boss, right? Yeah. At the end of the day, hey, we're all going to dinner and drinks. Big wig from up north Louisiana's coming down.
Yes.
Oh gosh, I don't have time to go home and change. Keep some staples with you.
Yes.
Keep the flats with you. Keep a blazer with you. Keep something in the car. So if something comes up during the day, you don't have to feel like you can't go or you're not going to be well received because you're not dressed well enough.
And the accessories, I think, can really change that tone. I have a variety of earrings in my bag right now that I can just change out. Like, I'm going to do this.
Great idea. Yeah.
And it can really just... So when we talk about accessories, we're talking about necklaces,
scarves,
earrings, scarves,
bracelets.
Because I have on right now on the podcast a simple gray tunic type shirt. But if I had this lovely gray scarf, and then if I wrap it around like an infinity scarf around this and put in some really fabulous earrings that have a lot of shine to them,
I'm
put on slacks.
Dinner. You're ready for dinner.
Yeah, now I'm put together, but I'm currently wearing it with my leggings.
He's so cute. And then another thing we need to, going back to preparing, is talk about the weather. We do need to know like what the day is going to be like, because where we live, it can start off freezing and then it's burning up in the middle of the day, and so you're irritated, and then when you don't feel good, you don't perform well. So it's important to kind of have I have this app where I'm notified of what the weather's like, the weather app. So I look at it like throughout the day. I'm not perfect with it, but I try to plan for that. I try to know what is the day going to look like. Am I going to need a jacket, or am I going to need a blazer later on, or I need to take it off? And the blouse that I have on underneath, is it okay? Appropriate?
Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a great point too, because now in the workplace, we have to be very careful with camisoles and things that might be a little too see-through.
Yes.
And so those are some of the things when you're looking at your cheaper priced pieces, to make sure that they're still of decent quality, but that you could wear it without a jacket. Or it gets warm in the boardroom in the meeting that you're in, and you can take your sweater off, and yet that you're still professionally put together. And I think one of the other funny things is what I used to do, and I wasn't perfect at it either, but I would always try to kind of plan ahead for what I was going to wear the next day. Because if I woke up in a funky mood and just went to grab something out of the closet, it might not have always been the best choice. But before I went to bed, I kind of had an idea of what I was going to wear the next day, what we were doing, where I was going, who I might need to meet with.
Exactly.
So that I did that when I was at my best rather than rushing in the morning or something like that.
Especially having kids, because you never know what's going to come up in the morning, and we're always last on the list, right? We talked about that.
I made a mistake and didn't iron my blouse that I needed this morning, and so all morning it was, Mommy, can you come look? And I said, I just got to iron my blouse. And they know how to play in guilt, but that's okay. You don't have to come in my room and see what I made. It's fine. I was like, just. Now, what are some of your go-to tips for saving money? So I mentioned mine with eBay, knowing brands that are good that I'm willing to buy secondhand or, without a tag. What are some of y'all's ways?
Yeah, and so mine, again, are the staple pieces. The black pants, the blazers, a cream color or ivory color shell or blouse that you can mix and match with a lot of different things. And then the cheap accessories that look really great with different blouses, different things that'll change up your look really quick.
I am not shy to ever ask someone, "Hey, where did you get that?"
I will have them pull their label out.
That?
Yes.
And I am a lot of my clothes will come from like asking someone, "Oh my God, that looks great. Oh wait, they have a sale going on." And networking with women, I just had a conversation with someone just last night saying, "Listen, I just met Stein Mart's 40% off, but they have a sale that's going on now." And even if we're on a budget and it's in the back of your mind, get on those mailing lists so that it comes to your house, those coupons for everyone, or get on the emails so that you can see. So when you put it, you tuck it, and whenever you can take advantage of those sales, because I love Uncle Clarence and Auntie Sally. Clarence and sale.
Okay, when you said first off, I also have no shame asking somebody, what are you wearing, what brand it is. So let's say that and I also ask, how recent did you get it? So let's say you've got someone, they've got a fabulous coat, they say, I've got it last year, or even longer before that. You still want to check on eBay because a lot of folks that are employees will buy up things on clearance.
Yes.
Themselves, use their store discount, and then sell them even at a discounted rate for us, but they get to make a little bit of a profit on it.
Oh, that's a great tip. Yeah.
And that's a segue for me. Y'all know I have to put this in. At the end of the year or throughout the year, I always donate my clothes and my kids' clothes, and so it's a tax write-off. So make sure you take pictures of your clothes, and there's you get a value. Once there's a program that allows you to get a value, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. So then you can also use it as tax deduction. Any and all of your things that you donate, not just your clothes, but that comes back to you from a different perspective, and then you can still when you're donating your clothes. So that's huge.
I think that's a good point too.
Yeah.
One of the other things that and like I said, the way you feel about the way you're dressed, you know when you're having a bad day.
Yes.
And you got the flats on and the leggings and just whatever kind of top, you're gonna have a just whatever kind of day. And I think even when we go out at night, right, socializing, you put on those bad boots with the heel, and you feel yourself. You feel some kind of way.
Right.
I can conquer the world today. And so while we might not always feel that way when we wake up in the morning to go to work, or we have something we're facing that day that we know we don't want to deal with, and it's weighing on you, try to think about putting yourself in an outfit that makes you feel wonderful. Because it's going to put you in a different mood. It's going to put you in a different mindset to whatever it is that you have to face.
And the outfits need to fit. You've got,
that's important.
And you cannot try to wear the things that fit you 8 months ago because that's what you wore 8 months ago. If your body's different, you've got to continuously try on things. There are clothes that 2 years ago looked great and now they don't.
Right.
So just go buy a pair of pants that's another size up. Don't kill yourself trying to squeeze into something.
People are going to so hate when I say this, but just because it comes in your size doesn't mean you should wear it.
It's true.
And it's so true.
It's true because a lot of people do not like trying on clothes in the store.
It is exhausting at times.
I tell you, regardless of how, because my body is different, so I need to see how it's going to fit on my body. So I just, chalk it up and I just go and try it on. But one thing, if I want to tell y'all, makeup and hair and nails, that is important as well as a part of your dress. Because when you put on your makeup, sometimes it's a little too much for work. So you have to kind of know those earth tones or those very soft tones for you, the pinks or whatever it is at work, because you don't want to be too much with the heavy red lipstick. I'm not saying all lipstick red is too much, but just think about it. If you're looking like you're presented in a way that's soft and you want to stay soft.
Professionally appropriate for the workplace. Right. Versus going out for a bachelorette party.
Exactly. And we want to be versatile. We want to have those different looks. There's nothing wrong with that. So
I think
embrace that.
That's a great point, too, especially if you are in a co-ed environment where you work, where there's a lot of men and a lot of women.
Yes.
You don't want to be perceived or received in a manner that's anything other than you are, which is a professional.
Right.
That's right.
You're there to be a professional that day.
So don't judge me based on my, fire red lipstick and my purple eyeshadow. Judge me on my ability and what I'm bringing to the table in this company or corporation.
Yes.
And I think that's why I like so much the resource of the handbook or the little tips that you guys give out, because that's great. And that's having a conversation with somebody without maybe having that embarrassing moment.
Well, so I worked for Disney for 10 years, and they have a dress code, and it's called the Disney Look, and they have a lookbook. And so when I work with my clients now in the employee policy manual, I really work to incorporate appearance guidelines.
Oh, awesome.
Nice.
Head to toe appearance guidelines.
That's awesome.
And that's how I first learned how to dress professionally, because when I started at Disney, I wore a costume.
Sure.
And everyone thinks, like Mickey Minnie. No, like, when you work in an attraction, they issue you the pants and the shirts. And then I get promoted and like, okay, great, come to work tomorrow, dress professional.
Right.
What is that?
Wow.
I'm sorry, what?
Right, exactly.
You're thumbing through the lookbook getting ideas about, okay, this is what, and it's visually, pictures really help. You can be hip and still be put together professionally.
Absolutely. And I think that was a big adjustment for me when I came from the street. I was in a uniform for 11 years, and then I got moved to a headquarters position where it's business attire. I'm going, I haven't worn business attire since I was, 19, 20 years old. And so it took time to, I think another great piece, I'm sorry, I just thought about this, is like a dress that you can throw a blazer on over. And a scarf, and then change the shoes, and the whole look changes up for like a great basic black dress or a navy dress or something that's going to be versatile with a lot of different pieces.
I had to learn to go from dressing high-level corporate, because I worked for the legislature, to business casual. And to believe it or not, that was an adjustment. And I want others to really receive this, because I want to give this parallel. If there's a gentleman that you work with that comes in scruffy, or he comes in like with his T-shirts on, or comes in where he's not, he comes to a meeting and he's wearing like some jeans or slacks, you are not going to take him serious as well, if you think about it. So when he dresses, so it's not like man on woman, if I have on my red lipstick, or woman on man, it's both ways, that you want to make sure that you're in an environment, in a team environment, and that you respect each other and what you're bringing to the table.
It needs to be appropriate for that environment.
Yes.
I work very closely with Habitat for Humanity. So they are expected to wear jeans because they are on construction job sites.
Yes.
Sure.
So where
so it is appropriate.
And it would be inappropriate to come in.
Exactly.
And so since I visit with them every single week, I make sure, and it's so funny because when I'm coming from a formal environment where I'm dressed to the nines, I'm like, ooh, what's going on with Julie today? Because I really do dress for that environment, which is slacks and cotton tops and flats and like work boots. You're still put together, and that's the key, being put together, but you would not resonate with the people that do the mission of your organization, which are construction site supervisors and volunteer builders,
Exactly.
and the families that are coming in. You wouldn't resonate with them if you were coming up super over the top and polished as you would from a Fortune 500 company.
Exactly. And you practice what you preach, because Julie, we were on the phone one day and you were leaving one client and you say, "Oh, I have to go change because I'm going to Habitat for Humanity." I remember that. And that's just knowing the appropriate environment that you're going in, I think, is very important.
Yeah, I agree. And I think one thing that we have to keep in mind as our business grows and as we climb the ladder of success, you set the tone a lot of times. When you think about how you feel when that CEO walks in the door, or that corporate executive, or that, the big boss walks in the door, there's a presence with them. And so with us, what we have been teaching and laying the foundation for our business and getting better and getting higher and climbing these corporate levels, what is the image? What is the feeling that you want people to get when you walk in the door? And what I've learned in the past several years is part of, I believe, this is just my opinion, the hard part for folks in public speaking is that judgment. You're standing there in front of all these people.
Yes.
Especially for me, I have to stand there in front of 3,000 women. And you know that's pure judgment. But how I look or how much I spend on my clothes shouldn't be as important as what I'm saying.
The content.
But subconsciously, we judge people constantly. So you don't have to spend a lot of money to look like $1 million.
Be intentional.
Be intentional. And give that presence without spending a fortune on your clothes.
I love that.
I love that.
Give that presence without spending a fortune on your clothes.
And I really do, even when we go to events in the community, or other events we go to, I do dress differently. I am the executive director. I am. I'm the CEO, and I do. And my staff or my management team may be dressed like maybe in a polo, and my management team is dressed in like a button down, something differently. But we want you to approach us in that manner. If you want to speak to someone that's a staff employee, you're going to feel the difference. If you want a manager, you're going to feel the difference. And then when I walk in the door, you're going to know, the executive, but that's the director. So that's who I need to talk to. And that helps the movement of everything, including the staff. It really does. So, and it gives you something to shoot for as well.
That's right. You don't have to be stuffy and spend a fortune to give off that feeling. So
absolutely not.
Well, wonderful, ladies. I think we gave some great tips today. We could definitely talk about this one again.
Makes me want to go shopping.
I know. I want to go to Walmart. I want to go to Dillard's. Let's go to StarMart.
Get on eBay.
Thank you again for being with us for another episode of Purse Chronicles. Yay!
I'm going to show you all my eBay tricks.
That's good.
All the things I get.
I didn't hear that.
I got these